Hi guys, so today we're going to be taking notes on order of operations on page 68, and I want you to go ahead and put the date, which is December 17th. Okay. Now we are going to fill out 2 vocabulary words today, so go ahead and turn to page 63. So the 2 vocabulary words that we're going to be filling out today are these 2 at the top. So the first one is numerical expression, and that's on page 520. And a numerical expression is a combination of numbers and operations. So for example, if you multiply 3 times 2 plus 4 times 4, that is called a numerical expression. Okay? Now, the second vocabulary word that you need to fill out is order of operations. And again, that's on page 520. So, the order of operations tells you which operation to perform first so that everyone gets the same value, okay? So this is basically some rules that are going to explain to you how to work out the problem so that everybody gets the same answer, okay? Now we're going to be taking notes on page 68, so if you want to go ahead and turn to page 68 when you're done with your vocabulary. Okay, so on page 68, go ahead and put at the top order of operations, okay? And today we're actually going to be filling out 2 things. One thing is going to be the sheet of paper that I gave you in class today, and the other thing is going to be another example here in our notes, okay? So we're going to be filling out the paper first, okay? So this is the paper that I gave you in class, okay? And if you notice up at the top, we have the problem, okay? So the problem is 2 times 8 parentheses 12 minus 4, close parentheses, divided by 4 minus 3 times 2 to the 3rd power plus, this is division, 144 divided by 12, okay? So we're going to be working out the problem, okay, using the order of operations, all right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with problem here. So I'm going to write it again over here. So 2 times 8, open parentheses, 12 minus 4, close parentheses, divided by 4 minus 3 times 2 to the 3rd power plus, and then we have 144 over 12. Okay? Okay, so if you notice, we have to follow these rules. So the first rule is to do what's inside the parentheses. So I'm going to do what's inside these parentheses right here, okay? So everything else is going to stay the same, okay? We're going to keep everything else the same. So I still have 2 times 8, and then inside the parentheses, we're going to put, what is 12 minus 4? Well, 12 minus 4 is 8, so we're going to put an 8 in there. And then everything else is going to be the same. And it's important for us to keep our problem in order to make sure that we are still following all of the rules. Okay? All right, so the second thing that we're going to be doing is exponents, okay? So, if you notice, this number right here has exponents, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite everything again. 2 times 8 times 8 divided by 4 minus 3 times. So here, remember 2 to the third power is actually 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So we're going to put an 8 here. And then we're going to add 144 over 12. Okay? All right. So now we're going to go to the next step, which is multiply or divide from left to right. Okay? So from left to right, this is the left, we have this dot here. So that means I'm going to have to multiply those two numbers. So 2 times 8 is 16. And then everything else is going to be the same. All right. Now again, I have 16 and 8. So that's going to be the next step. So I have to multiply 16 times 8, which I'm going to get 128. So 128, and then we have to keep everything else the same. Divided by 4 minus 3 times 8 plus 144 over 12. Okay? Now the next step is division. So I'm going to divide 128 divided by 4 is going to give me 32. And I keep everything else the same. Minus 3 times 8 plus 144 over 12. Okay? Now, we're going to skip the subtraction because I still have to multiply or divide. And I need to do this part first. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 8, which is 24. And the rest stays the same. So 32 minus 24 plus 144 over 12. Okay? Now the last part is going to be the division part. We have to do this part right here. This is divide. So we have to divide before we add or subtract. So 144 divided by 12 is 12. So everything else stays the same. 32 minus 24 plus 12. Now is the last part. Add or subtract from left to right. Well, subtraction is first, so I have to do that part first. So I'm going to subtract 32 minus 24 is 8 plus 12, and that's going to be the last thing I do. So 8 plus 12 is 20. And 20 is my final answer. Okay. Alright, so this was the problem that we did on our sheet of paper. Now we're going to do an example in our notes. Okay. Now, we're going to glue the sheet of paper that we just worked out on here. So I want you to leave the left side blank, okay, and we're going to work it out on the right side, okay? So we're going to work out the problem on the right side. Now this problem is actually going to be a little bit more intricate, so I need you to make sure that you pay attention. So here's my problem. I'm going to have 120 minus open parentheses, 3 to the third power minus 36 divided by 2, close parentheses, to the second power. Okay? Now all of this is going to be over. At the bottom we're going to have 10 plus 3, open parentheses, 10 minus 6, close parentheses, minus 27 divided by 3. Okay? So, I know this looks a little bit challenging, but we're going to take it one step at a time. Okay? So, remember, here, the top is my numerator. Okay? And the bottom is my denominator. So we're going to do the numerator first. Okay? So we're going to work out the numerator. And then we're going to work out the denominator, and then we're going to put them back together. Okay? So we're going to start with the top. 120 minus 3 to the third power minus 36 divided by 2 to the second power. Okay? Okay, so we have to start with inside the parentheses. So inside the parentheses, we're going to do the exponents first, okay? So we're going to have 120 minus, open parentheses, 3 to the third power. That's 3 times 3 times 3. So that's going to give me 27. Minus 36 divided by 2, close parentheses, okay? Then we're going to be dividing these two. So we have 120 minus 27 minus 36 divided by 2 is 18. Close parentheses. Then we're going to subtract 27 minus 18, so 120 minus 27 minus 18 is 9 to the second power. And then we're going to do the exponents. So 120 minus 9 to the second power is 81. So 120 minus 81 is 39. Okay? So 39 is going to be my numerator. Now we're going to do the denominator. So the denominator, we have 10 plus 3, open parentheses, 10 minus 6 minus 27 divided by 3. Okay. So we're going to start with the parentheses. So we have 10 minus 6, and we're going to subtract. Everything else stays the same. 10 minus 6 is 4. Then we're going to multiply 3 times 4. So that's going to be 10 plus 12 minus 27 divided by 3. Okay. Then we're going to divide. So we're going to have 10 plus 12 minus 9. Then we're going to add. 10 plus 12 is 22 minus 9 is 13. So 13 is going to be my denominator. Okay. Now we're going to put the problem back together. Okay. And we're going to get our numerator from up here. This was the numerator. Remember that? and this was the denominator. So I'm going to put them together down here at the bottom. So if I have a numerator of 39 and a denominator of 13, 39 divided by 13 is 3. So 3 is my final answer. Okay. And those are your notes for today. Thanks.